If you hear the name Vincent Price, you likely think of cobwebs, haunted castles, and a voice dripping with cinematic menace. He spent decades terrifying audiences on the silver screen, but the monster was a persona. In reality, Price was a formally trained art historian with a degree from Yale, a student of the prestigious Courtauld Institute, and a deeply passionate connoisseur. In the mid-20th century, the fine art world operated as an intimidating fortress. Galleries and museums were often treated like exclusive clubs, physically and financially walled off from everyday working Americans. Price recognized that his celebrity gave him a unique platform. He leveraged his massive pop culture fame to bypass these gatekeepers and bring high culture directly to the people. The blueprint for his approach began in 1920 St. Louis. At just 12 years old, a young Price stopped at a local dealer's window and fell in love with an original etching by Rembrandt. The price was $37.50. For a child in the 1920s, that was a prohibitive sum to produce all at once. He spent a full year taking on odd jobs and saving his allowance, eventually convincing the dealer to let him pay for the artwork in installments. That purchase taught him that acquiring art was a matter of dedication rather than social class, and that flexible financing could open doors that were usually locked to the average person. Years later, as a successful Hollywood actor, Price built a massive, globally diverse personal collection. His own home became a museum of everything from modern European paintings to ancient indigenous pottery. He actively rejected the idea that only European art mattered. By collecting and championing works like this pre-Columbian vessel, he argued that indigenous craftsmanship deserved the same scholarly respect as the old masters. But Price felt that keeping these works in a private home was a waste. He noticed that students in East Los Angeles had almost no opportunity for first-hand experiences with this caliber of global art. In 1957, he and his wife Mary donated 90 artworks to East Los Angeles College, creating the first permanent teaching collection ever established at an American community college. By placing global masterpieces directly onto a working-class campus, he provided direct access to primary sources. Students could now study world-class art without needing the wealth or connections typically required to enter elite institutions. In 1962, Price launched his most ambitious project. He partnered with the nation's largest retailer, Sears, Roebuck Co, to sell original fine art alongside household appliances and hardware. He was given a generous budget to travel the world and source inventory. He secured original pieces from legendary names like Salvador Dali, ensuring that the department store inventory carried the same weight as a high-end gallery. Pricing scaled from $10 up to rare $10,000 pieces. He applied his childhood installment model, just $5 down and $5 a month. As shown, inventory clustered heavily in the $100 to $300 zone, priced affordably for middle-class families. Price removed the intimidation of the gallery by integrating art into the familiar retail experience. By backing these works with a money-back guarantee, he successfully marketed fine art as trusted merchandise. The project was a massive quantitative success. Over 9 years, the Sears program sold more than 50,000 original artworks to families across the country. At the same time, his teaching collection at East Los Angeles College expanded exponentially. Fueled by thousands of subsequent donations from Price, it grew into a museum holding over 9,000 global objects. The result was the permanent integration of original prints and historic ceramics into the domestic environments of everyday families. Price's advocacy helped dismantle the snobbery that separates high art from accessible craft. He consistently argued that handmade objects like weaving and pottery deserved the same status as paintings. The man famous for playing screen monsters dedicated his life to opening the world of art to anyone who cared to look. Vincent Price didn't just collect objects. He invited the public to experience them, showing that the joy of a masterpiece could belong to everyone.